First off, last talk here, not too long, promise. Thanks to Dan and Paul for putting on another stellar event, excellent. All my favourite people in my favourite place. It's my Christmas right now. So my name's Rob, I'm co-founder of Lightning Pay along with Brandon and Simon at the bar there. And Lightning Pay is like a bank where you hold the money. Or it's banking services for the unbankable, whatever sounds better. I was going to do a talk about how Bitcoin is money, but Roy from Breeze already wrote that article, so I don't need to do that now. So my talk is actually Bitcoin escape velocity instead. So without further ado, so here we are. Bitcoin, for all intents and purposes, for most people in this room, I'm sure, is a store of value. It's limited supply. You can tuck it away. I found myself explaining Bitcoin to people. It's my savings account. That's what I call it now. If I've got some money, I'll tuck it away in Bitcoin for later. It's obviously not got the established history of gold, which has thousands of years as a store of value for us. But I don't understand gold. Like, how much is there? Where is it? Is it in Fort Knox? Who knows? Are they flying plane loads of gold from London to New York right now? We don't know. So for me, Bitcoin gets a big green tick, a store of value. I store my value in Bitcoin. However, medium of exchange and unit of account, you'll notice is still loading. It's like ticking over. You can imagine like loading bar, still going over and over. And the reason for that is because in the early days, you could accept Bitcoin over on the base chain. Of course, it takes 10 minutes to an hour to confirm, right? And if you're buying a coffee, after 10 minutes, it's pretty cold. It's a bit useless, isn't it? And so it was initially had some excitement, and then it's kind of died off a little bit. But now we have the Lightning Network, and the Lightning Network allows for fast, instantaneous, and cheap and awesome payments, right? You can zap people, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. So it's way more exciting now. We can definitely achieve medium of exchange. So unit of account, of course, is the last one. And that means pricing things in Bitcoin. Of course, it's not quite there yet either, because when something's listed as $10, you know what that means today and tomorrow. You also know what it means in a year. It's obviously a little bit more expensive because your money's gone down. So it's not quite a unit of account yet, but unit of account will follow after medium of exchange. Once we've gained in size, the Bitcoin price will gain in stability in terms of the price, and so that will help it be a unit of account. So why do we not have Bitcoin as a medium of exchange yet? Well, we've got a classic chicken and egg scenario. Nobody's accepting Bitcoin, so nobody's paying in Bitcoin. Only the most awesome merchants are accepting Bitcoin right now. And that includes my friend Neil, who's sat there, who's selling honey for Bitcoin. So go and see Neil for some honey after the talk. What's another problem we have? Well, it's the best money we've ever had. So what do? You buy more Bitcoin, and you sure as hell don't spend your Bitcoin, right? Okay? And that's a valid strat, okay? That's a cool way to go. It makes a lot of sense. But if you zoom out a little bit more, what's the problem with that strategy? Well, once you've saved up some of your wealth in Bitcoin, and you then want to deploy it into the world, what do? Do you take it to one of the handful of exchanges in New Zealand, such as Lightning Pay? You exchange it for dollars, and then you spend those dollars at the merchant. Is that the way we're going to spend money into the future, our Bitcoin capital? Well, I don't think that's a good idea. I think what we need to do is to deliver on the promise of Bitcoin. Bitcoin promised us peer-to-peer cash between peers, okay? The cool thing about this is when you arrive at a merchant and spend your Bitcoin, you are then an entry node onto Bitcoin for that merchant. And that merchant has become an exit node for you, for your Bitcoin, into something that you want to purchase. So this is where we need to get to. So why are we not here yet? Well, the reason is because of the Bitcoin journey. Now here's, you might disagree with the direction, the steps, and the ordering, and so on and so forth, but typically what you need to do is you need to avoid the pitfall thinking Bitcoin is a scam. The mainstream media are telling you it's a scam, it's for criminals, it's bad. You heard your mate tell you, and they were like, oh, I heard it got hacked, or it's a scam, or it got bust, or it's dead. And so what you actually need to do is skip over that pitfall and get the spark. Wait, I should look into Bitcoin. There's something about this. What's going on here? Sounds like Ada needs to go home for a sleep. Sorry. I should look into Bitcoin as the next step. You're like, hang on, there's something happening here. What are these people doing? What's going on here? After that, you've listened to a podcast, somebody you respect has told you about it. You go, wait a minute, there's something about this. You have the spark. Bitcoin is significant. I should look into this more. You start listening to the odd podcast, and then at some stage, curiosity turns into action. You take the leap. I'm going to buy some Bitcoin. You now have skin in the game. You've bought it. You're like, wow, this is cool. It's kind of exciting. You send $100 over, $500. You're like, this is great. This is amazing. It's still a little bit volatile. You're not quite sure it's a good idea, but you're giving it a go. And then at some point, you go, wait a minute, I need more Bitcoin. I don't have enough. And you get the FOMO. You're like, wow, look, it's gone up. You're now listening to podcasts 24/7. You're telling everybody you know about Bitcoin. You're paying heaps of attention to it. You're super excited about it. Following that, you go, well, hang on a second. I could accept Bitcoin for my side hustle, for my project, for my business. You start deciding you're going to spend it. And then at some point, you realize that you are your Bitcoins. The only way of getting to your Bitcoins is stored in your head, right? There's no difference between you and your Bitcoins. You turn up to meetups, you come to events, you're listening to podcasts all the time. And so that's the typical journey, okay? And so the reason why we don't have merchants accepting more Bitcoin is because that, Saylor tells us, takes 100 hours of Bitcoin study, roughly, what Michael Saylor recommends. And so to be able to accept Bitcoin, 100 hours, okay? It's quite a tall order for anyone. Well, Lightning Pay has a solution for that. We have the Lightning Pay point of sale. The merchant can accept Bitcoin and get New Zealand dollars in their bank account by the next business day. And that eliminates the tax problems, the accounting issues, and the volatility. And so what have we done? We've jumped over Bitcoin being a scam. It can't be a scam because it's being used for payment. We've skipped all those steps, and within a few minutes of a registration on Lightning Pay and setting up a wallet, they're there accepting Bitcoin. And the merchant is then wondering, who are these people coming into my shop paying with Bitcoin? Why are they so happy? Why do they have a glint in their eye? Why do they have so many kids? Why do they eat so much steak? Why have they gone 50 kilometers out of their way to come to my establishment? What's going on here? They can fill in the blanks on their own. This is great. So this is how we can leapfrog ahead. But that's not all. The cool thing here is that the customers coming into that merchant see a sign behind the bar that says, Bitcoin accepted here. And they think, well, hang on a second, I was told it was a scam, or it got hacked, or it was dead. But I can actually... Here she comes. They think, wait a minute, Bitcoin is being used as money. That means I don't understand Bitcoin. That must mean Bitcoin is interesting. But that's not all. Now another merchant goes into their friend, the other merchant's shop, and this is a true story, points at the "we accept Bitcoin" sign and goes, that's a joke, right? And the other merchant's like, oh. And the other merchant's like, no, that's not a joke. And I go, yeah, but you haven't made, nobody's been spending any Bitcoin in here, have they? And the other merchant's like, well, actually they have. We've taken a few $1,000s and we've only been operating with Bitcoin for a few months. And the other merchant goes, wow, that's crazy. What's it like? And the other merchant goes, well, the people who pay with her, they're a little bit weird. But I think I like them. All right, that last bit didn't happen. Anyway, so this is the power of accepting Bitcoin and using Bitcoin as a medium of exchange. So there's heaps of benefits. Access a global market. You've got tourists coming in. You've got guys over from the UK. They're looking around for Bitcoin merchants. You've got a passionate and loyal user base right here. Customers with buying power. Market cycle dependent. Additional payment rail. Choice Bro. Free to get started, especially with Lightning Pay or Wallet of Satoshi or however you do it, and you go on the global Bitcoin merchant map so that Bitcoiners can find you anywhere in the world. There are some cons.
Lower fees as well, Rob.
Lower fees, sorry, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, how did I forget that one? It's also not quite seamless yet. So what do we do here? What's happening with Lightning Pay? Well, Lightning Pay is an amazing launch pad into the Bitcoin space. You turn up with us, in 10 seconds you've gone from dollars in your bank account to Bitcoin in your Lightning wallet. You've blasted into space. You've then gone to a merchant who accepts Bitcoin, you've paid. That merchant, doesn't want to stomach the volatility, the tax and accounting, that's fine. They've used the Lightning Pay landing pad to land back down to fiat land where everything is safe and stable. And by stable we mean sinking at 7% per year, but anyway. So what happens next? That merchant slides the slider in Lightning Pay. They go, I'm not going to sell all of my Bitcoin to New Zealand dollars. I'll just sell half. So that Bitcoin that value that the customer brought stays in Bitcoin space for a little bit longer. This is cool. Okay, the merchant keeps it a bit, but then they do need to pay their supplier. So they go, it's okay, I'll use the Lightning Pay landing pad, that reusable Bitcoin rocket, and I'll drop my Bitcoin value back down to fiat. What happens next? Well, the merchant talks to their supplier and goes, hey man, have you heard about that Bitcoin thing? And their supplier goes, yeah, but it's a scam or it's dead. And they go, no, everybody thinks that, it's not right. And so they go, hey, look, I could pay you some Bitcoin, and because you're sending things internationally, we can skip all this stupid foreign exchange thing, and you'll get it quicker. You'll get it like in seconds. And they go, well, that sounds pretty good, let's give it a go. So they start paying their suppliers in Bitcoin. But their supplier needs to pay their staff. So unfortunately, supplier uses the Lightning Pay landing pad, lands back down to fiat land where everything's safe, and that's okay. But next step is the supplier asks their staff, hey, does anyone want to take their salary in Bitcoin? And one of their staff members goes, looks around, it's a bit awkward, but I'll do that. And the supplier's like, cool, so that Bitcoin value stays in space that little bit longer because it's gone from the merchant to the supplier to their staff before landing back down safely back to fiat land with the Lightning Pay landing pad. And then the final step, of course, is that staff member then goes, well, instead of selling my pay to buy things, I'll go to another Bitcoin merchant, I'll spend my Bitcoin. And at this point, we've achieved Bitcoin escape velocity. We don't need to land back down into fiat land anymore. We're up in space having a great time. And the price going higher just pushes the altitude that we're in space even higher and higher. And what are the consequences of this? Well, we now have a level playing field where anybody can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, in seconds with minimal friction. We can have our self-owning, self-driving cars that pay for things with themselves and so on and so forth. We've got AI, specialist AI, paying other specialist AIs to get answers that they need. Machines paying machines, this is cool. Permissionless innovation, you want to do a fintech, no permission required on Bitcoin, you can do that right now. The end of the surveillance state, and finally, saving for the future. And this is the most important one because once you can save for the future, you can have hope and prosperity for the future. So look, a little bit of details from Breeze here. So they did some market research, 650 people globally. I assume 5.56 million people in New Zealand are included in that who can access the Lightning Network right now. Some numbers from Macari, who are a Japanese merchant, 3 million users that bought Bitcoin on the Macari platform. And some other numbers there. We're not going to dwell on numbers because we're tired of looking at the projector. And we've got some River's latest report, which is also look at, shows 266% increase in a year in Lightning Network volume in USD terms, which is huge. Notice that the actual number of payments has gone down, so those payments have actually gotten bigger. So there's more money in fewer transactions being settled on the Lightning Network. And that was all the carrot, but now's the stick. Remember, if you use the dollar, you perpetuate the dollar, okay? If you spend your dollars when you could be spending your Bitcoin, you're using something that is secured at the end of a gun, okay? It funds the forever wars. It's run by crooks. It has censorship and choke points. It's unaccountable, unauditable, has high fees, chargebacks, comes with inbuilt surveillance and control, and has inflation, as we've all just found out previously. So where do we go from here? Well, Bitcoin is a tool for building a more connected economy, and you can be part of it. Let me leave you with 3 simple, powerful things you can do to help Bitcoin thrive. First of all, you can spedden, right? Just like hodl, but for spending. And if you're worried about your Bitcoin going down, you can replace it, spedden and replace. And so you can go to a merchant that accepts Bitcoin and spend your merchant. Secondly, you can accept Bitcoin at your side project, your gig, your business. You can do this now. You can do it with Lightning Pay without the tax, the volatility, and the accounting issues. And third, and this is the most powerful because it doesn't cost anything, okay? You can go to your favorite merchant. You can go up when you're at the checkout and you can say to them the simple question, do you accept Bitcoin? And you're there ready to tap your card. And if they say no, that's cool. You tap your card and you walk out. And what you've done is you've shown them that you were there and ready to pay in Bitcoin, okay? And even though they said no, you added a bit of a spark, a bit of curiosity, okay? And it might be that one day your favorite merchant starts accepting Bitcoin because you dared to ask. So the beauty of Bitcoin is that it grows with us. Every transaction, every step forward. So let's accept it, spend it, and ask for it. You're not just using a currency, it's a movement, okay? Let's build the Bitcoin economy one payment at a time. Thank you. I forgot to mention, we've got 4 huge announcements to make now, so I'll ask Brandon and Simon to come up onto the stage with me so that we can let you know.
Shit, how do you follow that?
I was just saying I like the presentation, Rob. Really good. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Well, they go in order of awesomeness. So I guess the least awesome announcement. New Zealand's very first Pleb Lab. Now I've stolen the Pleb Lab logo and name from Austin Pleb Lab in Texas. I asked them if they could use it and they haven't emailed me back, so it's going to be called something else. But it's a co-working space for people working on open source freedom technology. You can come to the Pleb Lab, you can get a desk, you can collaborate. We're going to have Francisco's Bitcoin lessons. We're going to have meetings, events, and so on. So that's the first announcement. Second announcement, and I'd like to thank Chloe for all the hard work she's put in. The Lightning Pay wallet, so you can stack sats the easiest way possible, couple of taps, money from your bank into your wallet in seconds. It's our MVP. It doesn't do too much right now. It does the essentials, but we're going to grow it into like a pretty cool product, so keep an eye on that. I will warn you, it's in beta. Please give it a go, but don't throw all of your Bitcoin in there from the get-go, okay? And then Simon said he'd like to do the next announcement, so I'll hand over to him.
Shit. Like I say, how do you follow presentation, Rob? It's amazing. So look, I wanted to take a second to talk very quickly about how Lightning Pay has changed from February last year when we started doing our first transactions. We did $536 in revenue, total volume in February last year. And our most recent month, we did 1 billion sats. That is all because of people like yourselves who use Lightning Pay, who use it regularly and use it a lot. Lightning Pay grows at an average of 20% new users every month. And that's amazing because we're adding more and more Bitcoiners from New Zealand, which we just love. Interestingly, our revenue, our total volume tracks that really closely as well, about 20% more every single month. And that's how we get to that billion sat kind of level on a monthly basis. We've done a huge amount on nothing. But Lightning Pay has been entirely self-funded up until now, and it has been a slog. It has been a joy to run, but it has been hard work. And so after a year of doing this on our own, we'd like to announce that we have a new investor in Anchor Capital, who are a New Zealand Bitcoin-only family office investment firm who are allowing us to supercharge our products, services, the pace, and what we offer you guys as Bitcoiners and users of Lightning Pay into 2025. And as we've teased already, there's some amazing stuff on the bubble, but this allows us to do so much more. It allows us to grow so much faster. It allows us to bring what makes Lightning Pay amazing to more and more people, both in New Zealand and around the world. So we have a 6 Bitcoin investment from Anchor Capital, which we'd love to thank those guys. Thank you. And
Yeah, the final and most awesome announcement is that the Lightning Pay team is growing. So we'd like to announce Nellie Hunter will be joining us. And she's going to talk about Bitcoin Basin.
Thanks, team. Welcome everybody to Queenstown. I know we've got some people from Hamilton, Auckland, Christchurch, and afar. So back in the 1800s, a guy called William Rees took a stroll, wandering along down the Shotover River, which is not too far from here, and he discovered the first nuggets of gold. And that gold changed Queenstown forever. Word spread and pioneers from around the world came to Queenstown. They wanted a shot at, sorry, can I just get my notes?
Okay, that's right.
They wanted opportunity and they wanted a shot at prosperity. And fast forward to today, I see history repeating itself. But that gold is not found in the rivers, it's digital. And just like the old prospectors of the 1800s, Bitcoiners are the new pioneers of the 21st century, seeking sovereignty, innovation, and a new financial frontier. Queenstown is often referred to as the adventure capital of the world, a place where people push their limitations and take giant leaps of faith. So let me ask you this. Where better than our little gold rush town to lead the charge of Bitcoin adoption? We're small enough to move fast, and we're bold enough to set an example to the world. So, we are launching the Bitcoin Basin Initiative, a movement to make Queenstown the first true Bitcoin circular economy of New Zealand. And by working from the grassroots up, our collective goal and vision is to put Queenstown on the map globally. And by using Lightning Pay, teaching our local merchants how and why to adopt Bitcoin transactions and making it easier and faster and simpler for the customers. We want to encourage visitors from around the world to come here and to use Bitcoin as their preferred method of transactional spending. Through the initiative, we will promote Queenstown, the Bitcoin Basin, to the world and encourage Bitcoiners to come here to spend and to network with each other. A global hub for financial freedom and innovation by hosting events such as this, having speakers and networking with each other. Just like digital gold though, we recognise that in order to truly grow the adoption rate, we need proof of work. We're all in this together. The gold rush put Queenstown on the map, and the Bitcoin standard will define her future. So everybody here today, welcome, because you're in the Bitcoin Basin.
Thanks, Neil. Paul, do you want to? Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. I'll take that.
All right, thanks everybody. That brings us to the end of our speakers. Just want to thank everybody again for attending. Yeah, it's been awesome for this kind of turnout. It's fantastic, and thank you for travelling. Also wanted to say our next event will be in Auckland in July, so we're cracking into planning for that next. We don't yet have a date and venue, but we will soon. We'll probably be in Wellington in October for the next event after that, and then we hope to return here again for our annual pilgrimage to Queenstown this time next year. We are in the process of spinning up a website, so we'll get that up hopefully live soon for more information. At the moment, we don't have a huge digital footprint. You can follow us on Twitter at Bitkiwi1, the number 1. And we also post what we're doing on kiwibitcoinguide.org, so you can see that there. We've got this space until about 5 p.m, so hang around and catch up with the other Bitcoiners. A few of us are also going to breakfast at 10 a.m. next door at Yonder tomorrow morning, who also accepts that. So feel free to join us there as well. So thank you, everyone.